Arcanis felt that grudging admiration again, but before she could say anything, they were interrupted by the arrival of a GC fleet officer. Arcanis inwardly groaned. During times of peace, she didn't have to deal with these arrogant asses, and she much preferred it that way. Your heap is taking up valuable space. Docking Master, remove this scrap as soon as possible. The Kralians have a Star Dreadnought in need of immediate repair. Arcanis had seen the work order for the Star Dreadnought. The admiral in charge wanted to retrofit a storage bay into an arboretum for his mistress. In spite of this, the Kralians were the military heavyweights of the Confederation. But it still stuck in her craw. The easy smiles of the humans were all gone now. "What did you call my baby?" one of the other men demanded. The tall woman of the group put a restraining hand on his arm. "Your fleet?" she asked. The fleet officer looked like he was being talked to by something particularly disgusting. "Yes." She held out a data chip. "Here's a copy of our combat report for fleet intelligence." The officer gingerly and grudgingly took it before turning around and marching off. The tall woman now looked warily at Arcanis. Arcanis had been examining the hull of the ship. "This hull must be at least 50 years old," she exclaimed. "Yes, an excursory Mechanon II served as the frame," the tall woman replied. "Ah, that takes me back to my hatchling days. Those ships could run on backwater rotgut and with half their systems out." The smile slowly returned to the face of the tall woman. "Yes, she certainly has proven her worth beyond measure. I wasn't sure we could have taken down those 3 Eshar cruisers and gotten away with our hides intact." Arcanis spluttered. "3? 3 cruisers? But what? But how?" Several of the humans now seemed to be almost laughing. They all slowly made their way over to the edge of the pad to sit down. "Well, you know, these old excursories were built around a mass driver for pushing asteroids into new orbits?" Arcanis nodded. It wasn't glorious work, which is why crews worked with these tubs back in the day. "Well, we reworked the mass driver into an autocannon that accelerates projectiles to shortly before the speed of light." The tall woman threw out the information as if saying she had just walked down the corridor to purchase a snack. "Then we put some weapons hardpoints onto the hull, whatever we have on hand, and you have a very tough and passable gunship. We call these things warthogs after—" "Where did we get the name from Brisby?" The man who had been defensive about the ship replied, "Some flying animal from old Earth, I think." The woman shrugged and nodded. "But 3 Eshar cruisers?" "We had been sent to patrol some nowhere sector when we picked up 3 Eshar ships on long-range scanners. No one else was in the area. My people were itching for a bit of revenge after Polarnus III, so we went at it. Of course, waiting around in a half-destroyed ship until one's patrol relief comes wasn't much fun." Arcanis nodded. Polarnus III had been a tragedy for humanity. It was one of their breadbasket planets and supposedly safe behind GC lines and therefore had little in the way of military protection. But somehow 12 Eshar ships had appeared out of nowhere, glassed the planet, killing 150 million, and then disappeared again. Wait a minute. You destroyed 3 cruisers, lost half your ship, and still waited around until you were relieved? Arcanis couldn't believe her hearing stalks. "Well, we had a couple of autocannon rounds left," one of the other men joked. Arcanis pulled out her work tablet, tapped twice. The Warthog was now at the top of the repair list. Fleet would throw a fit, but if they were to watch the data chip, then maybe they'd change their mind. Arcanis certainly had.